and welcome to another episode of the Get Out of Gaming Plus podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ben,
I'm Alex.
and we are your all expense paid. we're that all around podcast, so we do everything from video games, movies, anime, you name it. We release every Wednesday for the audio version, and then Friday we do the video version on YouTube.
Most Fridays, if I don't have issues with like the rendering and Adobe being trash. But anyway.
if we do. But yeah, we have a great show. We're going to talk about Sonic Prime was announced on Netflix. We're going to talk about Nintendo Switch Online updates, and Square Enix actually had some news today. This week. That's pretty interesting. But before we do that, we're going to talk about what we've been playing, our hidden treasures. And believe it or not, Alex, I'm going to go first because I know what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Alex has a shit ton, but I don't know if anyone knew this, but it was my birthday over the weekend, and my kids know me so well. I mean, listen, for the audio viewer, I got a giant Master Chief pop. He's got an energy sword and the grappling hook, which, by the way, Alex, I did play a little bit of the new season today.
Okay.
I don't like it because I don't know the maps. The one map you can fall, I fell like 3 times. It was embarrassing.
So what you're saying is you're bad at games.
I used to be really good. I played on Monday night as I watched you stream, and I had some really good games. But when new maps come along, you don't know where the guns are. But it is pretty cool.
Cool.
So that is my one thing. A little bit of what I've been playing. I've been playing, obviously, Halo. Still playing that. And then really not playing a ton of stuff really besides Halo. So it's a quick for me. I can throw it on, I can play a couple rounds and leave. Alex, you got a lot. And maybe we should talk about you and your obsession. We won't say where you're buying them from.
I think we did last week, didn't we?
I don't know.
I think I mentioned it last week.
Yeah, you actually mentioned some people. I was going to say because they're not paying us to mention it, but...
They're not paying us to mention it. Yeah, because we had like a whole little thing how you were mad that you weren't a seller. But anyway, yeah, I got some stuff last week, and I have more stuff coming this week. So we talked about it. So yeah, I guess I'll name drop. They're not paying us, but for the most part, I believe in the service, especially right now because the Wild West and it's awesome. Once people or governments start regulating it, it's gonna be not great because I feel like it probably will get regulated at some point and be way worse. Because right now it's yeah, it's crazy. It's like if well, I guess first of all it's Whatnot, but it's like you remember in the beginning of like YouTube where like people could just do like video reviews and stuff like that and just play just basically the whole show, and there's like no repercussions or anything like that. Like that's what Whatnot is right now because people like are streaming. It's an auction. It's like a live auction, and you can bid and blah 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 and win stuff. But like there's also people who just like are playing games or they're playing music, like licensed music, and they're just like not getting in trouble because it's the Wild West right now. No one knows about this app still for some reason. It's still a niche product, even though there are hundreds of people. I don't know how many users there are. I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's maybe less than 200,000.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on there a lot, and I haven't bought in a while, just because I'm trying to be a seller, and I need to get my stock up, and that's basically what it's been. But there have been times where I've been in rooms. I was in one. Alex and I were actually in the same room on Sunday for Retro Rick's craziness bot fest that happened, and there was like almost 2,000 people in that room at once, which is insane to me.
I think it's just because that was the first time they've ever used Whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen him on there and I've seen him sell before,
Hmm.
but not what he was doing then.
Yeah.
And for anyone that's listening, he was doing N64 complete inbox, pristine condition games, some of the higher volume games that are worth more money for the original price they sold for back in the day. So they were all going for $50.
Although one of them actually, I was watching a little bit. There was one of the games in there, um, that actually went for $60 when originally released. He's like, "Well, you're getting a discount, but it's still completed box." And
They even had that crazy Clay Fighter in there, which was insane. That's $1,000 game easily out
yeah,
of box.
yeah,
So, all right, I went on a little tangent there, but let's show. What all did you get, Alex?
too many things. That's the answer. So I'm going to tell you the places that I got stuff from, as we go through it. The first place I bought stuff from was called Elements with a Z. Um, they there's a few different channels, but there's like Game Elements, which does like card games, and there's Elements that does video games, and then there is, I guess, Anime Elements, which they announced on Sunday. So they're gonna start selling anime stuff in there. Um,
Nice.
yeah, I don't know if they're gonna move their anime games in there or what. But basically, Elements is one of the coolest ones I've seen because they are like a game store and they have auctions every day. There's like 3 auctions a day, and during the weekdays, and actually it might be every day, and they're specifically curated for certain things. Like in the mornings at Eastern time, because I think they're based in New York. At like 7 to 7:30 they start, and then they go until about 9, and then 9:30 they have a special one, and then that goes for until they run out of that stuff, and then maybe they have another one at 1:30. Um, so there's like streams for like RPGs. There's streams for like Mario was today, where there's like a special stream just for Mario games.
That's great.
The morning one is just like a bunch of random stuff where you also get free loose games as well. If you pay a certain amount of money, they give you a certain amount of loose games for free. Um, a lot of these sellers that I've been buying from are Japanese sellers. So they sell import Japanese games. Um, so yeah, I guess let's get started here. Like I said before the show, this is probably gonna be most of the show because we have light news and that's fine. Um, let's go over here. So let's go with some Elements stuff. I think this was Elements. This wasn't Elements. Well, I guess let's go with this. So I've been collecting, for audio listeners, I'm going to be showing a bunch of stuff, but I'll try to say it. I've been collecting Kingdom Hearts now on in Japanese because, like, first of all, the box art looks awesome. Like, honestly, I really like the way that it looks. It looks a lot better. It's shinier as far as like the box art goes and stuff compared to the other one. Like, I was looking at the other regular box art for this game, the American one, and like yeah, it's less shiny. Ours is more washed out and doesn't have this type of material on it. But like yeah, so far I have Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 2, and Kingdom Hearts 1, all the original copies of those. Um, no final mixes yet. I tried to buy a final mix today, but it was too scratched up and people were made it up to $30, so I quit because I was like, this is too scratched for me to buy this. I won a giveaway for Unlimited Saga. It's complete in box as well. And I bought Tales of the Abyss for PS2 as well. Again, these are all Japanese games. PS2s are not region free, so they are region locked, so you need a Japanese PS2. But guess what? I bought a Japanese PS2. It should be here soon. PSP, however,
You should stream some of those once you get that.
I'll try. I'm not well versed with Japanese, which is kind of unfortunate. I've been trying to learn here and now Japanese, but I'm not great at it. I don't know how much I paid for this, but it says 200 yen on it. I probably paid more than $2. This is Tales of the World, Radiant Mythology 3. It's like a Tales game where like you create your own character. and like other Tales characters are in it. Um, this is still just elements. Now I'm looking at it just from this person, but these are
Can,
like a few different boxes that I've got.
can we talk about that you may have a problem with your
Nah,
spending?
no, we're fine. We're fine. Um, it's just I don't know. Like I've never experienced this, and like I'm not going to any cons this year, as far as I know. So like I was planning on going to a con, but I didn't want to waste the vacation time. I'd rather do stuff with my family. So instead of paying a lot for the con and stuff, I use I guess that money to do this instead. Um, I also got Ranma 1/2 for Game Boy. That is complete, except without the collector's thing in it, or the not the collector's thing, the like plastic thing that sets it in. I got this Dragon Quest Dragon Questo Monsters. I think Monsters too. Well,
Nice.
it's green, so it's going away. Um, but it's for Game Boy. It's Enix. It has a trading card in it as well. So
Nice.
yeah, that's all from that seller. Actually, no, I lied. Um, and then they give you a bunch of games. My roommate bought some games too, so he gave me all the free games that he didn't want. So we got Kirby for Wii, Dragon Ball Sparking 2. Is it Sparking? No. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. Some baseball game, some Mahjong game, Biohazard, so Resident Evil, Tekken for PS3. PS3 is region free. I have Terraria for Japanese Terraria for PS3. Okay, I guess I had Sparking. It was underneath there. But yeah, Dragon Ball Sparking, which I believe is Super Dragon Ball, which is a fighting game. Like it's like there's no story stuff in it. So that's all from Elements. Let's go. Let's do the guy who's streaming right now. There's a guy who's streaming right now. He's doing a 24-hour stream. I bought quite a few things from him as well. But he's pretty cool. He's a crazy character. But
I will admit, he is. I've watched him several different times. Yeah, he's a different guy.
yeah, honestly, like so the Japanese market's really cool on there. Because games are cheaper, first of all. You're not paying for the weird shipping from Japan, so it's a lot cheaper that way too. And I don't know, like you see all the same people in each stream. It's interesting. It's its own little community for those. Whereas when you go to the regular, like American or yeah, North American release type stuff, those streams aren't as good, to be honest. Just because I don't know, it's stuff that you can find like so far that I've discovered, unless there's better ones here or there. Like it's not great production value, and it kind of just seems like they're there to sell, and that's it. Same thing with like the other locations, like whether it's card games or manga, anime, whatever. It's like they're not really even trying. With these people, like they know what they have. They're pretty good. They're entertaining as well, because like that's what you have to do. You have to sell you have to sell yourself.
I think
Um,
I think that's important with some of the people that I watch. I will say for me, collecting NES, it has made collecting easier because Alex goes out once or twice a month. He would go up to a little further away to go to some more shops that we don't have here,
mhm.
and he would say, "Hey, do you want this? Do you want that?" But even then, it's like hit or miss. If
Mhm.
it's because I have over 250 games, um, it makes it more difficult. And so it's nice to be able to go on there and go, "Oh my gosh, I want this one." And sometimes there's just a couple commons that I want.
Yeah.
Um, Now, Ren and Stimpy, I paid a lot more for, but I've never seen Ren and Stimpy in the wild ever.
Mhm.
I've never seen it. So I get that point. Now, the people that I watch do a really good job
Yeah.
with that. There have been some I've watched. I told Alex where the guy was like, "Oh, hey, I gotta go switch my laundry." That's not okay to do during a live stream. I know sometimes you gotta go to the bathroom. It happens. Or you have two crazy dogs that have to go to the bathroom every 5 seconds. Uh, but you know, there are some really bad streams, so I'm glad you found that one. That's definitely up your aisle. Now, if they ever get something cool like any cool NES games that are in Japan, like Famicom games,
I've seen
I'd
some Famicom's complete in box and Famicom disc systems and stuff like that too.
yeah, Famicom games are actually going for a better price than the actual North America NES.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well. Let's see. So back to this guy. Game Night Arcade is this next person. He's crazy, but he's awesome. Again, I think it's like a little store or something, and they just have a bunch of stuff. It sounds like mostly this person, these people, they go to conventions and sell games. But right now it sounds like there's like a 24-hour live stream. So if you're listening to this on the day of release of this podcast, then he might still be going, honestly. Got Pokemon trading card game, complete in box, Game Boy, Japanese again.
That
Uh,
box, every one of the complete boxes you've shown looks amazing.
I mean, there's still time. There's some aren't great. Um, I got Tokimeki, Tokimeki Forever with You. I don't know. It's some dating sim thing for. It's made by Konami. For PS1. Again, PS1 is region locked as well, but if I get that PS2, that's in the mail, so I'll be able to do that. I got Seiken. Have I even opened this? Yeah, I did. Okay. Seiken Densetsu 3, which is Mana, Legend of Mana. I forget. Not Legend of Mana. Whatever the Mana game is that people used to call Secret of Mana 2. That's what this is for Super Famicom. This does not have the manual though, but I paid like nothing for this. Yeah, like again, this is a lot. I'm almost done, I swear. I'm still on the second seller, so this is the last of his. I got this. Wow, the what do you call it? The green screen messes it up. I got Yoshi's Story for complete in box, I believe. I think it's complete in box. For Japanese N64. Yep, it has the manual and all that stuff in there. I got Diddy Kong Racing complete in box. Then we got Banjo-Kazooie. Got Banjo-Kazooie complete in box. This is the one where I was like, I'm done for the night, and then he's like, all right, we got this. And he's like, roll it up. And I was like, oh man, I have to buy this. And then I got it for like nothing. I got it for like $17. So,
It's not bad.
yeah. So far, one giveaway, 2 people. They're really good. Last person was my first stream, and I won 2 giveaways from him. One is on the way, and other stuff from him is on the way. And then some other stuff here. This is my very first stream when I went and bought a lot of stuff from one person. So I have Bleach, like a RPG, like a 3D like turn-based RPG for Bleach, for the PS2. I have Dragon Ball Gokuten, which is like a Dragon Ball Z RPG. And it looks like, from what I was looking at, it looks like it starts with Dragon Ball and goes all the way to the end of Dragon Ball. So like King Piccolo stuff. Because there's a Gokuten 2 that has a picture of Frieza on it. So I don't know how far that one goes. I'm assuming until Frieza. I got Hatsune Miku game for PSP. I got this horrible Neon Genesis Evangelion slot machine game that I tried, and it was awful. And I got Taiko no Tatsujin DX game. Um, Again, PSP, they're all complete in box. Actually, yeah, these are all complete in box. But they're also all region free. The PSP is region free except with UMDs. So like the movie discs. So those you have to like yeah, if you got like a Japanese movie disc, it's not gonna work. But yeah, all the games and stuff are region free. So I'm able to just use my PSP 3000 and everything works fine. So yeah, I tested these. I don't have a battery anymore for my PSP, but for just plugging it in and trying these games out and stuff, that it works amazingly. And a lot of these games, or at least two of these games here, are just rhythm games. So like, I didn't really need explanation. When I did do some stuff, I used the Google Translate app and then use the camera to turn on the Google Lens and then put it at the screen. And like, if you hold it there for a little bit, it just translates the whole thing in like correct like grammar and all that. Um, and I guess the last thing that I got from Game Fox was 358 Days. Actually, no, I didn't get this from Game Fox. I lied. This was from that previous guy, Game Night Arcade. But yeah, I got 358 Days over to Kingdom Hearts. So I am missing Recoded, which is on the way. I ordered that. I am missing Final Mix for Kingdom Hearts 1, and I'm missing Final Mix Plus. Final Mix Plus, which is Kingdom Hearts 2, and that comes with Rechain of Memories because that's the way that was released in Japan. It wasn't a separate release; it just came with both of them. And then I need Final Mix for the PSP for Birth by Sleep, and then the only other thing I would need is the 3DS Kingdom Hearts 3D, and then I'm done. I'm done collecting Kingdom Hearts. It it's hard to buy some of these games again, like in American. So like just to have the opportunity to get these for pretty cheap and in Japanese, and like they look really well and they play well. I think it's awesome. I don't have a charger for this thing, and it's honestly beat up, scuffed up a lot. But I did win this in an auction, which
That's
it
cool,
or
though.
not an auction. I won it in a giveaway, which is a pink original DS. The camera doesn't do it justice because it is disgusting. Or I guess it does do it justice, but like it's really gross. Like it's just gross in the sense of like very damaged and chipped and dirty. Um, but I mean, turns on everything. It works. I have Kingdom Hearts in there, and like it's very loud actually too. So like it works very well. The triggers feel really good. I have a charger for this thing, so like yeah, like this is a good alternate for like if I need a DS for some reason. Like it's here, like you can hear it probably.
And that is loud.
Yeah, that's all the way too. But yeah, all in all, that's all I have so far. Um yeah, I bought a 3DS that's coming in the mail sometime this week. I got a Japanese PS2 because I have all these Japanese games now. Um, I'm just excited because I have all these Japanese games for like Super Famicom and stuff. I can use those hopefully on my Super NT for the most parts. I can use the Game Boy games and stuff. Once I get the analog pocket, I assume that they would work fine because it's just Game Boy. There's no region locking really there. Um, and then the PS2, I'm getting the PS2, and then the 3DS. I can play stuff on there because 3DS is region locked unless you hack it. And honestly, I'm not about that life. I don't want to hack stuff. I just don't.
Yeah,
I don't want to do that while it's still alive. I guess maybe like if it was dead, like the Wii, which I'm considering is hacking an old Wii that I have because like you can supposedly make those play Japanese games fairly easily. So I might
I
just
did
do that.
try to I did try to jailbreak a Wii, and it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work.
I
Not
did it a long time ago, and then I decided I was like, you know what, no, and I like updated it, and it fixed itself, and it was fine.
yeah. I mean, I was just gonna put a bunch of games on there
Hmm.
just because Wii games are hard to get.
Hmm.
The good ones are. So wow, that is quite the haul.
Yeah, I have more. Like I said, coming this week. I'm excited. Got a couple dot hack games. I got a dot hack Fragment, which is a game that only released in Japan. It is the MMO. It's an actual MMORPG for the PS2.
that's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all. I mean, I have more stuff obviously coming and stuff, but like, yeah, bought a lot of stuff. If you, I don't know, I would recommend looking at whatnot, seeing stuff. Bid responsibly, everyone.
Yes.
Obviously, and if you click something, don't do cancellations for no reason, like other people. It's really annoying. Um, when people do cancellations. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for that. But
Well,
this is a news story, a news podcast, isn't it?
yes, it is. And our first news story is that Sonic is announced uh, on Netflix, and they showed like a little bit of a glimpse of it. Um, now, in the past stories, Netflix has had some issues. I actually just watched a report about how many subscriptions they're going to lose when they bring out this new program.
Mm-hmm.
And they said in the first couple months, they will lose 2 million subscribers in the first 2 months. Um, so we'll see. But they have this here. Um, and basically, we got the story from Ryan Leston from IGN. They talked about the new Sonic Prime. It's a new Sonic animated series on Netflix. Several images um, on there giving us a glimpse. They gave him a glimpse of what Sonic the Hedgehog show, as well as several other upcoming animated shows, like the new Kung Fu Panda series. Um, I want to read this quote here, and this is from Netflix. It says, "We want to create a safe and trusted place where your children can relax, play, and learn alongside their favorite characters." This is Netflix animated series vice president. I'm not going to say his name. Uh, as a father of a 4-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter, I love seeing them see the world through the eyes of my children, sharing experiences together. Sometimes that means having dance parties, solving puzzles. Sometimes it means curling up together and watching their new favorite show. Now, here's my question. Did they? I think they were not doing any more animated shows. They closed that
They
studio.
closed that studio, but I believe that was for adult animation, or like there was a new studio that was doing like older animation, but not quite like adult, like that stupid show that everyone loves and I hate the designs for, Big Mouth. Not like that.
Oh,
It was like not, was it Mouse? I don't know. There's something like some graphic novel, like famous like graphic novel is for like older kids and like teens, and yeah, that isn't getting made anymore. Um and then
but
there's some other
hey,
stuff, but like I guess the kids stuff is still staying because they need you. If you're not going to do anything, then they're gonna make sure that your kids are gonna force you to keep your Netflix.
yeah, I mean, my littlest one, I have a 2-year-old, and she loves Coco Melon, which is a huge show on there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, I mean, I didn't watch this, but I do think it is definitely. I don't know. I feel like they're trying to tap into the popularity of Sonic right now. The Sonic cartoons back in the day were great. So
Oh, I got
this,
that. That was the thing I don't have in here. I got that on Blu-ray. That came in the mail this week. Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's what I got on Blu-ray.
is that the one where there's like 4 Sonics, so they're like all related, or is that
That is
something else?
Sonic Underground. There were 3 different Sonic shows happening at the same time. But no, this is the one that's like Looney Tunes, where like
Okay,
with Scratch and Grounder and all that kind of stuff. And
Okay, yes.
yeah, that's my favorite one. I have the other one on DVD, but like I tried rewatching that and it's not good. But anyway, continue.
It looks like yeah, there's a thing in the bottom that says the cancellation of several long-awaited projects, including
Okay,
Bone.
Bone. Yep, that's what I was
That was
thinking.
one has led to concern about Netflix animated future. Whether or not these new kids shows will avoid cancellation remains to see. I mean, I don't know. Um, Netflix is just not on a good route right now. Um, and like, what are they gonna do when they post this and like, hey, we're gonna do this. This is great. We're gonna do it, and then all of a sudden, bam! Oh, sorry, we're gonna cancel it.
Okay, so Bone, like, okay, yeah, so that was the thing I was thinking of. Bone. I thought it was Mouse for some reason. There's so many different things that I just associate with like I never read them, but I associate them with people who were like in like middle school to early high school reading these things. So I combine that with like three different other things. But anyway, um, I think that they're going to keep all, with Bone, for example. There's no real data of like if that would be successful or not. It's just kind of like a cult classic that they want to bring to life. Um, so that is risky. So I can understand why, if they are trying to save some money, why they would cancel that, regardless if there is good reception or not. If no one likes it, then no one's gonna like it and watch it. Whereas with Sonic, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. He just had a new movie. Oh, he doesn't have blue arms. This is awesome. Okay, yes, the show's not gonna be awesome. Doesn't have blue arms anymore. He's back to the normal flesh colored arms. um, so yeah, it's like Sonic is like a guaranteed win, honestly, for anyone, regardless if the show is good or bad. Like Sonic Boom, the game was horrible. Sonic Boom, the cartoon, is hilarious. It is so good. It is on Blu-ray right now. I'm half tempted to like go and buy it because it's so meta and stupid and funny. Like there's just like, do you remember the movie like Misery? Like where
Yes,
like yeah, like with the person who like kidnaps the author and just like keeps them there.
absolutely.
Um,
James Caan.
yeah, there is an episode of Misery with Sonic where there's some guy who's in there and he's keeping Sonic who's injured, and he's just like a super fan. So he's supposed to be like those crazy super fans that are online, and he's like, why don't I read you? There's like clips and stuff. There's one that's like, why don't I read you some of my Sonic fan fiction? He's like, oh, that's not safe for work or something. He's like, that's not safe. That's not safe. Oh, here's one. Like they know the weird fan base of like where like Sonic crazy Sonic fans and stuff makes things really like sexual and stuff because that's just the way the internet is. But they poke fun of that stuff. They poke fun about everything about the culture of Sonic. So that show did really well. I feel like this show could do well. The only thing I think that would be going against it is that it's brand new voice actors, and it seems like they're trying to make a series and not just like one-off episodes. Because it has to deal with like a multiverse, a race to save the universe, and it's on where Sonic will find himself on a journey of self-discovery and redemption, and it's 24 episodes. Um,
All it should be interesting when this comes out. Where's Netflix at? You know, because with them threatening to do what they say they're gonna do, it could be like something where, hey, this show's really great, but they don't have an audience because a lot of people have left.
how
Um,
many things on Netflix are released on Blu-ray anymore? Like
not
nothing.
not really.
Did Stranger Things ever release like the newest one?
No, but the first two seasons did.
Yeah, and the VHS things.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
and then I don't know if they did. I don't know if they did season three,
because I know
but I
like
know.
Cobra Kai, for example, like the first two seasons are on like DVD or something.
Yeah, um,
Because I'm just curious, because like yeah, if Netflix doesn't do well and this thing just gets stuck behind Netflix, it kind of sucks. Like I don't know, people are probably gonna pirate it, especially if it's good.
just they did do a season three on. That's a poster.
So they didn't. Okay.
There is a DVD set.
of Stranger Things?
Yes.
Is there a Blu-ray
Um,
set?
but here's the thing: it's not on.
Okay. Well, like it basically just proves my point there is that like they don't care about the other markets anymore, whereas it seemed like in the beginning they did. Where there's like, don't worry, our show's so good that like it'll be exclusively on here for a little bit, and then we'll move it to other media for people who don't have great internet or whatever, because like they can make a ton of money off of people just buying these collector sets or whatever. And
Absolutely.
they're not going to, it seems, because I mean Disney's not doing that. Like I'm just waiting for the Mandalorian to come out on like 4K. That'd be awesome. Disney's never going to do that.
No,
But
because it's always going to be on Disney Plus, and I think
yeah.
you know. I mean, we'll have to wait and see how this happens. When this comes out is going to be a big thing because they're still planning to move ahead with their new thing about, oh, so we're going to go by addresses. What's that price going to be? And I think that is going to be like whether the show is good or not. And you're right. If people want to watch it, they're going to pirate it. I
Mm-hmm.
guarantee it. I guarantee you'll be able to go on Netflix or on YouTube and find full episodes of this when it comes out, or where you get your pirated stuff. But and then in the same token, you know, they canceled all these other shows that were supposed to come out. Or they did only one season of a show, and they're like, "Nah, we're gonna cancel it."
It's kind of weird that they're doing a Kung Fu Panda series now. Um, so
I
I
don't know why.
understand that DreamWorks has like a special like love relationship with with Netflix because they've released like those dragon stuff. They've released a bunch of different like other original IP and stuff. So it makes sense that they would do a Kung Fu Panda series, but we've already had a Kung Fu Panda series, and it was
Like,
actually and it was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. It's not even Jack Black, and he sounds just like Jack Black. It's crazy. Well, first of all,
yeah,
is Jack Black in this new Kung Fu Panda series? Because I'm
there's no
curious
word.
if he is. Um,
There's his IMDb is weird because he just does what he feels like doing when he wants to do it. He
yeah.
is an actor at this point where uh, he's done enough stuff where if he doesn't want to do it, he doesn't have to do it. Like look at George Clooney. George Clooney does what? One movie a year,
Yeah.
you know? So he's at that level where he's like, I've done so many like huge hits that I don't have to do it. I know he's concentrating on his band. He's got a new album coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, and I think that would be the winner for that if they get Jack Black, but they're not going to get Angeli, they're not going to get Lucy Liu, they're not going to get everybody that was in those movies. They're not going to get Jackie Chan. So, and the other thing is like the biggest thing I have with Netflix now is they do these new shows, and you get one season, and then like, we're going to cancel it. I feel bad for Cowboy Bebop. They did one season. I didn't even watch all of it. I watched one episode. But I
Immediately
felt
canceled.
yeah, and it got canceled before like the first month it was out. If you don't hit their numbers, you're done. And
Yeah.
you know, you know, um, and it cracks me up. So we'll be on the lookout for this. We'll wait and see what happens with this, and hopefully you'll hear something at some point.
Yeah.
Uh,
Really quick though, I'm looking up Kung Fu Panda knowledge. Um, so Kung Fu Panda: Legends of Awesomeness, which was the movie or the show that took place on that was in Nickelodeon, takes place between the first and the second films. Um, yeah, that was really good. That was back in 3 seasons, 80 episodes, 2011 to 2016.
that's crazy.
Um, and then there was another show that takes place after the third movie that was on um, Amazon Prime.
Yep, I remember that show. It got a couple seasons.
Yeah, or let's see, one season but 26 episodes.
Yeah,
And then now there's a new one that's called The Dragon Knight, and I guess that's on Netflix. I don't know. This is confusing. Kung Fu Panda. Are you all just gonna be on Netflix now? Because like, if not, like that's That's annoying. What if your kids want to watch all of Kung Fu Panda? That means you have to have like 3 streaming services. You have to have, like Peacock. Wait, no, you would have to have what's the other thing? Not Peacock. The other thing,
Um,
Paramount. You'd have to have
Paramount, yeah.
Paramount. You would have to have Amazon, and then you would have to have Netflix. Like, come on, Kung Fu Panda. Come on, DreamWorks. Let our kids and me watch Kung Fu Panda.
I don't even think you can watch all 3 movies without having several different without having several different, streaming services, to be honest.
Probably not. I've only seen the first 2 movies. I watched the first movie because it was on TV because my younger sister at that time the second one was coming out and she wanted to see it. So like, all right, I'll go see it, but I need to watch the first one first. And then I watched the first one, I'm like, this is really good. And I watched the second one, I was like, this is really good. And then I fell off on the third one and never watched it.
The second one's my favorite.
Yeah, second one's awesome with the crane and all that. Like, yeah, that one's awesome.
I mean, you've got not only that, but you have like Van Damme's in it, and you've got Gary Oldman's in it, and it just was like just really well written. So,
but
all right, let's move on to the
yeah,
next story. So
yeah.
we got the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, and they've announced Splatoon 2. They through a tweet said, plus expansion pack members, you can now enjoy Splatoon 2 Octo expansion DLC as part of your membership, but at no cost. Which, Alex, we both have talked about this, about how anything that's like an expansion to a game is going to be on for expansion pack.
Mm-hmm.
Which this is not a surprise, but do you think this is going to get more people to sign on? I think Splatoon 2 is a great game. I don't know how their fan base is. I mean, Mario Kart has a huge fan base.
The Splatoon 3 is coming out soon. So I think really more than anything, this is hey, Splatoon 3 is coming out. If you just buy Splatoon 2, or if you have Splatoon 2 and you never played the DLC, just upgrade to the expansion pack and you get that along with these other things. Again, at no additional cost. So like, yeah, you get the N64, you get Genesis, you get Mario Kart if you have that, and you get the Happy Home Designer stuff if you have that. Which makes me wonder, the way that they're doing this for Splatoon, I wonder if next year when Zelda comes out, if we will get the Breath of the Wild expansion stuff just in here to hype up the next Zelda game. Because I feel like that's highly possible.
I feel like it'll happen before first year if they do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I think this is a good strategy of theirs, but I wonder where their numbers are, because as me, I pay the $34 of the family plan because we have a lot of Switches. This gives a chance for everybody to be able to play those games. I have not seen anything that makes me want to go to the expansion pack, to be honest.
There's so many things.
I mean, there's some great things, but I don't play Mario Kart. The Animal Crossing thing, my wife wants it, but she doesn't play enough for me to warrant spending the money. Are there some great titles in Genesis? Yes. I'm not a big N64 person. I never have been.
How dare you? Don't you even have the controller too? Didn't you buy the controller?
I bought the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
They were out of the N64.
Okay.
And I have the Genesis controller now. So I have all 3 of the main controllers. But I will tell you, man, like, my big thing is this. Is now they came up with the Game Boy, like they keep talking about, and Game Boy Advance, and Game Boy Color. I would probably do the expansion at that point. With PlayStation Plus on the horizon, going to be $120 a year. I mean, that's where I want to spend my money if it's worth my while. I'm happy being a $60 a year member for that as well. So I think this is great. I think but to stay competitive, they need to be doing what everyone else does, where they're like, hey, on this, look at Xbox. Every month at the same time, they have a video of what's coming out for gold, what's showing up on Game Pass. And they're like, hey, here are the dates. Nintendo's like, oh, by the way, we're going to release this, or we're going to do this. There's no rhyme or reason at all. It just shows up. I think that's their biggest problem, is there's no schedule. It's like, bam, here it is. And I think if they want this to be successful, they've got to get to a date where like, oh hey, we're gonna be doing this now, where we have dates.
I wonder if it's just like a last minute thing though, like, and they just like they already have the ROMs for stuff. They're just waiting for approval, and then it's like, all right, cool, it's approved. All right, launch it. Here's the tweet. Auto send the tweet. Let's go, and then it's just there. You know, like, all
Yeah,
right, because yeah, like you said, like other places are more organized, but although they've been pretty organized with their own stuff, it's just the or like with N64 when they're just like, hey, all these specific N64 games, they're gonna come out one a month, um, and they have been still. But yeah, with Genesis or with even Super Nintendo and NES, like these are all third party games at this point for the most part. Like, yeah, it's possible that they're just trying to fight for some of those licenses, and then they finally got it. Um, so yeah, again with the online stuff, like the thing that I think is really hard, and the reason why I think a lot of this is still up in the air as to how like it takes them to get stuff and why just stuff shows up randomly. I really think it's because the difference between this and Game Pass and even PlayStation Plus for the most part, or PlayStation Now, games don't disappear yet. Games have not disappeared from any of these. So they are negotiating, I'm assuming things could disappear maybe eventually, but as long as this has existed, they've just been adding more games to each thing. They've never taken away anything. So I think that's why we're getting all these weird titles, is because a lot of these companies have more flexibility with these things, like, or even like Earthworm Jim 2. It's really weird that we got Earthworm Jim 2 but not Earthworm Jim. Actually, wait, is Earthworm Jim on the Genesis one at all or no?
I don't think it is. I can tell you right now that Genesis had Earthworm Jim 1 and 2.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, it did. But I prefer Earthworm Jim on the Super Nintendo. To be honest, although I do have Earthworm Jim on the Genesis locally here, because I know the mini console had Earthworm Jim, the first one, for Genesis. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure if the Genesis app has Earthworm Jim or not, because that'd be interesting if it did or not.
well, and I guess my biggest thing is Nintendo has been very much that company that we're going to support this, we're going to like do this, and then it just falls off the map, and they stop supporting it. Um, they've done that with several other things that they had like big ideas for, and as soon as they announced the expansion, yes, we got a Super Nintendo game, we got a Nintendo game, but that's it. That's it. And the reason I joined in the first place was because they announced we're gonna have Super Nintendo, we're gonna have Nintendo games on here. Then we're gonna have Super Nintendo. And that's why I joined, was that there.
Yeah.
So, you know, this, oh hey, we're Nintendo, we're gonna announce it whenever. That's my biggest problem. And I feel like to be successful, they need to get on a schedule. They've
Mm-hmm.
been good about the N64, but why not about everything else? And N64, yes, once a month. And you're right, they probably are fighting for licenses, but it's so random. Like, oh, hey, Paper Mario's gonna come. Here we go. Bam.
Well, we
And
already
like,
know that they're coming because they've already told us about all these games. I
right.
think the last one, maybe they've already hit the all of them that they've told us that they were giving us. But
I
like
think they
yeah, Mario Golf might have been in the last one because I know that just recently came out. I have not played it yet, but on there, um, I love Mario Golf. I love that first one a lot. But yeah, they might have actually hit that now. But yeah, they had like that list of like, here are all the games coming to the Nintendo Switch N64 stuff in the coming months because they are just already had a deal with those, I guess.
it
But
should be
yeah,
interesting because I know, not to jump around a lot, but Xbox has already announced their Xbox and Bethesda show in June. Uh, the lack of no E3 is not going to stop them. I'm waiting for Nintendo and Sony to do theirs, and I think Nintendo's going to be like, "Hey, this is what we got going on," and Nintendo's will probably be in June. That's when last time we had it. It was a great show. I thought Nintendo's show was awesome
yeah,
last year.
Nintendo. I'm sure it's gonna be at the same time that it normally is, just that same weekend or same week, that Tuesday or Monday.
Yep.
Um, yeah, they'll probably just still do it at the same time because they're Nintendo and they'll
I
do
mean,
that stuff.
when I saw the Zelda Game and Watch, I was like done. and they showed a bunch of stuff that I wanted. Uh, I understand why Advance Wars is not out, and that sucks because I really want one and two.
Hmm.
But I understand why. I understand why it's not out yet. But that sucks because that was another huge title I was looking forward to. So yeah, maybe we'll hear more about this uh, later on. I think them giving the expansion packs like these extra DLCs. I think it's great. You know,
Yeah, it's making it worth more. I wonder if this was the plan all along, or if this is a response to what people were thinking about the Nintendo Switch Online at the beginning. Because, like you said, people like to complain, or like, I mean, you were complaining about like how it didn't seem worth it for you personally because you didn't want any of this stuff. You talked about it earlier, just a little bit ago. Um, but yeah, I wonder if this was an afterthought of like, oh, well, we put Happy Home Designer, and people think that we are doing other things as well now, so maybe we should do other things as well too. And then that's how the Mario Kart 8 happened. That's how the Splatoon's happening. This is how other things might happen. I really don't know what goes on in Nintendo's mind. Um, yeah, I do not know. I will say though, before we go to the next news story, I guess it's a little topical for this. We are big fans. I don't know if you watched it yet. Well, first of all, Reggie Fils-Aimé has a book that's coming out this week. It's called Disrupting the Game, I believe. And it's like a business. What I forget what exactly what he called it. I don't know. Business biography. I forget the exact word of what it's called. But basically, like it talks about certain stories about his life, about certain things that have happened and all of that. And it's very interesting. It's supposed to be very interesting and stuff. He had a podcast. He was on the Kind of Funny Games podcast, and that
yeah,
just announced that just released today. And that was a very interesting watch. So I highly recommend you all listen to that because I mean he was a big person for Nintendo for a while, so he kind of knows how they tick. He doesn't necessarily go into great lengths of detail about like behind the scenes stuff, but like again, like the biggest thing that I think that he said when Tim Geddes was talking about like Nintendo's a Japanese company first, he said he's like Nintendo is not a Japanese company. Like they are their they they take themselves they kind of only think about themselves because that's their mentality because they're in Kyoto and that's where they're stationed from compared to Sony. Like there's different mentality there because like Sony is in Tokyo. So like it has a different mentality compared to just being more I don't know, stuck in their ways, maybe a little bit in Kyoto. But there's more pride there, I guess. So that could be why they're like this because like the whole thing is like oh Nintendo's just it's a goofy Japanese company that's why they do all this weird stuff and Reggie like he didn't really like do any like weird tone or anything but it kind of just seemed like it's not because they're Japanese they're not just a Japanese company they're looking I don't know they're more critical or something but yeah it's just interesting there's a lot of interesting stuff in there I'm sure there's a lot of interesting stuff in the book um so I look forward to buying that and reading that eventually but
I
yeah,
will also I will also tell you if you ever get a chance to watch Console Wars on Paramount Plus, uh,
I have that book
the,
over here somewhere.
I'm telling you now, the Console War is a great series, um, and the book is great as well. But the cool part is like the Americans that were working for Sony or not Sony for Sega, they're like, nope, they are a full blood Japanese corporation, and this is how they think, and there's no switching it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think Nintendo will ever go down that route? No, uh, but they really do need to come up with something for this. I guarantee their numbers are not like for the expansion pack. I don't think that they're not. I think they're good, but they're not where I'm sure they want it. I guarantee this was not the expectation of what they thought they were going to go, and they just need to be better about what their next plan is.
Mm-hmm.
Be more transparent on what you're doing. As a consumer, I'm going to go with what I want, Now, for you, N64 is great. You love N64. You're not a Genesis person. It was easy for you. For me, and like some of the other people that don't like, they're not into N64, but I am into Genesis. I've not seen anything that's like wowed me.
Mhm.
And like I already have, I have, Game Pass. I already have PlayStation Plus. You know, what makes me what something has to happen to make me pay for that $80 of consistency,
Yeah.
you know? Because remember when they went to NES and Super Nintendo, it was great for a while, and then like you'd go 2 months and not see a single thing.
Yeah.
And then boom, all of a sudden you just shows up on a Wednesday. And it wouldn't even come for 2 weeks after that. So, we'll have to wait and see. I think their show that they do in June is gonna be heavily focused on this expansion pack with other things because they don't have a lot of big titles coming this year.
They have
You know,
Xenoblade. They have Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and they have Splatoon 3. Those are the only two things I can think of that are actually coming out this year.
yeah. So I'm thinking they have, and they'll do an hour show. They always do an over an hour show.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking they're gonna come with other stuff, especially since Breath of the Wild's not on that list this year. So, and I'm fine with that. Get it done right.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the last story: Square Enix sale. Wow, this one came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Square Enix sold uh, some of its game studios, and for a crazy amount of money. Not really, not a crazy amount. So they basically sold. So this Embracer Group acquiring three of Square Enix studios, franchises like Tomb Raider, Deus Ex. Forget this, only $300 million, which does not seem like a lot of money.
Mm-mm.
Um, so, but God, that number still shocks me. That's a low number. Um, so, so yeah, this is. I mean, it still's blowing my mind. I heard on Kind of Funny Games they were talking about it, and they just don't have the time to put into these. The Tomb Raider games have been great. I've played one or two of them.
Yeah.
They,
I played the first two and they're really, really good.
Crystal Dynamics, I think, was one of the ones they sold.
Eidos Montreal.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think I still think that they are being set up to be bought out by Sony. Uh, I think I think they said with all the studios that Square Enix owned, it was like a $5 to $7 billion company with what they all owned. Well, they just sold these ones off. So that means they're worth less
Yeah,
money.
it's essentially trimming the fat, and this is what a lot of news outlets are saying. Is that like these games, while they do okay, they don't do super well. Like they technically are failures in Square Enix's mind. They are underperforming. So Tomb Raider, it still does really well. It's still underperforming. Deus Ex underperforms. Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know actually about Guardians. I don't know if that technically did underperform or it might have just like performed enough. But yeah, most of these things just underperform too much. So like selling it off, trimming the fat for just 300 million, like that's not bad. Embracer Group is interesting because they own like THQ Nordic. They own like a bunch of different things like that. Um, so I don't know. It's just weird that Embracer, which like is a name that I haven't really heard of, because I just never think of the parent companies. Um, but yeah, so like I know Crystal Dynamics. Yeah, I talked about it down here. Crystal Dynamics recently announced like a new Tomb Raider using the Unreal 5 engine. But apparently they are still working with Microsoft on a new Perfect Dark game because Eidos or Crystal Dynamics was reported to be working with them at the time. Um,
Like I said, with all these acquisitions that are happening, 300 million seems significantly cheap for those big franchises. Uh, and I know Avengers did not do well because, yet again, when Avengers came out, they had all those microtransactions, which I think that's what got them in the first place. And there was a lot of glitches. There was a lot of problems. I remember seeing the Avengers trailer for the first time. Greg Miller was hosting that panel, and he goes, "We have no microtransactions, none." And then you got the game, and there was a ton of them.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, nothing states bad in the video game world when you sell yourself a little high. And the game's not bad. I've played it a couple times. It's not a awful game. I've never played Guardians, but
It's good. Guardians is really good.
It's weird because I just don't like, and I'm like, I could do it right now for Game Pass, but I'm just like, I never thought to myself like, I think I want to play Guardians right now. You know what I mean?
I played a little bit of it. I got it for Christmas, and from what I played, I pop it in every once in a while. It's very good. It's very well done. It's just like I'm not in the mood for it right now, and like yeah, that's just the issue with it. But it is a very very good game. The soundtrack is awesome. It unfortunately is not a game I can stream because of the said soundtrack. So I'd have to do like the generic music, and that just kind of kills the vibe of the game.
Right.
But yeah, like showing this, you keep mentioning 300 million, like the price tag is very small. But I think it's just because that is what Square Enix, like that's how much they think that these are worth, because they don't care about these because they are underperforming. They don't care about these because they're not Final Fantasy, they're not Kingdom Hearts, they're not Final Fantasy 14. Like yeah, those are the big things that help them sell money. Help them get money, sell games.
If you
So
look at
yeah.
you look at the roster right now, they've got Front Mission, they got the newest Final Fantasy, they've got um, Star Ocean, they've got all these titles they're working on. Kingdom Hearts, you know, I just don't think they can give the time to that. And with the ones they're gonna get obviously Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, which we haven't seen a Deus Ex game in a very
Because the
long
last
time.
one underperformed.
Yeah. Um, Hitman series.
They don't have Hitman anymore.
Oh, they don't. Okay.
Yeah, they lost Hitman because whoever had Hitman, they went independent because of some issue. I don't know, look it up. Essentially, I don't want to get it wrong, but I just know like they went independent for some reason because of like disagreements with Square Enix. So like yeah, they don't have Hitman anymore. They haven't had Hitman for about like maybe a year and a half to 2 years. So
yeah, and I'm like looking through the list. Forspoken is another game that Square Enix is working on that comes out soon.
mm-hmm.
Valkyrian, there's a new one of those games they're working on. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake.
That is not confirmed for here yet, but yeah.
Dragon Quest 12, and then Dragon Quest Treasures. Like I'm just going through a list here, and there's Final Fantasy Remake Part 2.
A lot of these games are exclusive to Sony, or at least time exclusive to Sony.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7 Remake, the first one is still only on PC and PlayStation. I don't know if that's ever going to even come to Xbox, because I really don't know. I thought it was an exclusivity deal for a year only, and then it was going to release other places. And technically it did. It released on PC. I don't know if it's going to release on Xbox or anything ever. But yeah, it like I hate when you're right, but like it looks like they are trying to gear up to get sold and bought by Sony. And I don't know why. Like it just doesn't make sense to me at all. Especially because other kind of funny said this, other places said this, but like they have a lot of stake in Nintendo. They do a lot of handheld games. They do like so much so on Nintendo that can be exclusive in the beginning as well, like Dragon Quest. Um, Dragon Quest 11 or S or whatever. That was exclusive to the Switch in the beginning. That's why it was 11S. Um and then the
Right.
definitive edition uh came out eventually and all that stuff on other things too. But like yeah, it was a that special like turn into 2D like pixel mode, like that was exclusive to the Switch version and now it's on every version. Yeah, there's all the re-releases of all these other games. There's I don't know, like there's a lot of things just on Switch only as well. Like Octopath in the beginning. Like Octopath was only on there and I think it's on PC and that's it. Um so yeah, I don't know if Sony would play nice and let them release other things on Switch because they're not Microsoft. Whereas Microsoft would be like, yeah, you can release Cuphead on Switch. That's totally fine. That's just more money for us. That's fine. But Sony would be like, no, no, because we're too pure. You can't touch us. And then they would like hold up their crosses and I don't know. Sony's a cult. Sony's a weird cult. Like I love Sony and like I love their products and everything, but like they I don't know. They need to get their heads out of their butt.
Well, and I think the big thing is, if they do buy, Square, they definitely need to play nice with Nintendo because I feel like that's like a capital market that they can make a lot of money on. I feel like they definitely could. You know,
Yeah.
with a handheld market, Nintendo owns that market,
Hmm.
and it's really cool because if you wanted a game like Dragon Quest or whatever, you could play it on the go. Now I
Yeah.
know Sony's their own thing they're trying to work on where you could do that as well. Uh, but we'll have to wait and see. I still think this year that Square Enix is going to get bought, and I think Capcom's going to get bought. I think they're going to get bought by Sony. Um, at some point, it's going to be a weird time frame where you have to own almost all the systems to get certain games. You know, like
Yeah.
where if you want to play the new Starfield game, you have to have an Xbox. You know,
Yeah.
so
I also did hear this as well. Like it's possible the reason why they are trimming the fat and getting rid of those other things is because it's not going to be investigated by FCC and all that other stuff because it's a smaller buy for like if they just bought Square Enix because like if like with Blizzard, Activision Blizzard and Xbox, like they had to like look at that for a long while and confirm like is this okay, is this legit, I don't know, is this legit because they own so much that like is this a monopoly, I don't know, this is really weird with
it would it would be the
yeah.
first time I've been in the court system for a monopoly.
Yeah, so like with this, like getting rid of your stuff and just focusing on certain things, that makes you more marketable in that sense to where you're not too big, where it's just like it's okay for Sony to buy them without anyone questioning it.
Right. And I think it would only do better for the company to have that money that Sony has, you know. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I think this is what it looks like. We're getting ready to see Square Enix, which you know what, for Xbox people, if they bought Square Enix, that means no Kingdom Hearts on Xbox.
Which is
Um,
crazy to me because they just brought all of them over there.
yeah.
It's kind of like a big middle finger to them.
Well, it's business. It's strategic. You know, their
I
Xbox is not going to put that new Starfield game on PlayStation 5. It's not going to happen. I mean, they'll put some Bethesda stuff, but they're not putting that new Starfield. That will be a Xbox exclusive game, and I think that's why they're trying to do this. They want to play the same ball game, but they can't pay what they paid for Bethesda. You know,
yeah, I don't know. Depending on how long this Kingdom Hearts thing goes for, it might be or depending on when this buyout happens and how far in development Kingdom Hearts is, it's possible Kingdom Hearts 4 will still release on everything. Sans Switch.
I mean,
Um,
I think we got a long time for that Kingdom Hearts.
I don't think so. I
You
think
know,
it's gonna come out in like a couple years.
I'd say 3 years, but that's plenty of time for them to buy Square and Capcom. I think Capcom's going to hurt them as well because that means no more Resident Evils. That means no more Street Fighters. And Street Fighter is a pretty popular game, especially on Xbox.
They're not on
So
Xbox anymore. Street Fighter hasn't been on Xbox for a long time.
I know, like, I think going with Capcom, I don't think Monster Hunter is as big on. I, I don't want to say that,
Monster Hunter isn't on Xbox at all. It's only on Switch and PlayStation and
but
PC.
I feel like it's pretty popular on Switch and Nintendo. I mean, I feel like those are super popular games on there. So
Oh yeah, for sure. It's different as well.
yeah, so I don't know what would happen if Capcom got bought. If Capcom got bought in Square Enix, because if Sony is like, nope, we're not gonna play nice with Nintendo, that's two giant franchises. You see a ton of games for it on their system. So
Yeah.
I don't know. And Nintendo's not in the fashion of like, we're gonna buy this stuff up. They don't usually do that very often.
Yeah.
If they do it.
I don't think they're going to, because it's just not. It's not what they do. But
No. It should be interesting to see what happens between now and first year,
yeah.
because we have that last quarter coming up, and that's when it'll happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's we'll have to wait and see. And I mean, I own 2 out of the 3 systems. I don't own an Xbox Series X yet.
I own all of them now, and a PC. I am the 1%.
Yeah, I have a PC and I've got like 4 Switches in my household. I even have the OLED, which isn't mine, but we do have one.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I don't have is an Xbox Series X, PS5.
They make a lot of noise. Very, very loud.
Really?
Very, very loud when playing a 4K Blu-ray. We watched Spider-Man, and it was fine until near the end of the movie, about like half an hour to 40 minutes were left, and it was just loud, like a huge fan noise, and like I felt it, and like it wasn't really all that hot though, at least, but like that disc drive is working.
Yeah, because I watch 4Ks all the time on my PS5, and I don't really think it's very loud at all. So
yeah,
that's great. Well, I don't think we have a shout out of the week here, but Alex and I do stream. Alex has his own streaming that he does on Twitch, and then every so often we stream on our Get Out of Gaming Twitch page.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Alex, do you want to do the shout out of the week for yourself?
Sure, I guess. I don't know. I guess I didn't shout myself out this week. Yeah, you can catch me on stuff. You can find me on Twitch. You can also find me on Twitter as well. Cheetar02, pronounced Cheetar02. Yeah, I'm playing .hack again. .hack Outbreak. Yeah, so I'm playing that. Try to justify all the money that I've spent on all these games. So yeah, we're almost at quarantine. I don't know how far we are in this game actually, but I'm level 60 on the 3rd game. I think you get to level 99, and there's a level 70 level in this place, so I think I probably get to like 75 or something by the end of this game. So I think we're almost there. But yeah, you can catch us on Twitch as well, where we do stream on the Get At Gaming Twitch, just twitch.tv/GetAtGaming. Lately, we've been just doing watching commercials, video game commercials, stuff like that. It's a fun time. I don't know the next time we're doing it. I don't know what we're gonna do next, but yeah, we'll try to figure it out and let you all know. Hopefully, a day before it happens, instead of just like spur of the moment, like, hey, it's happening now. Yeah,
we need it. What we need is for the new Turtles games to come out, either Cowabunga Collection or Revenge of Shredder, so we have something to play now. That's what we need.
I agree. Honestly, what I would say, I think you should cough up to Mr. Nintendo over there and spend that extra money for the online, and we can play some Mario Golf together.
That is true. I just can't drop the $50. It's only $50 right now for me to do it. It's just so difficult to do. It just
I don't know. It's prorated though. I thought so. Like you should. It should be cheaper.
well, and also you gotta think I get the family plan. The family plan's $80. So $50. I paid $34.99 for the 1 year this year
Hmm.
now. And then you add on, subtract that from the 79.90. I'll have to check. It's been a while since I've
Yeah,
checked.
but I know that's prorated as well, at least. So like, depending on when you last paid for it, you should be able to just pay for the rest of the year. So it should be cheaper than what you're thinking right now.
I'll have
So
to look. We will
yeah,
entertain this
play
later.
some Banjo Kazooie. It'll be fun.
But this episode will drop every Wednesday in the morning,
Hmm.
and then our video will drop on Fridays, usually on YouTube. Check us out on YouTube. Download us, hit subscribe on your favorite podcast server, whether it be Apple, Google Play, Amazon. We're on all of those.
Hmm.
Uh, Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Um,
We have a TikTok as well that I should be more active on.
yeah, we do have it. We do have it.
We do have it.
Other than that, I don't think I have anything else. Do you have anything, Alex, or
Not really. Just get at it.
get at it?